so Anon went over there. I went on a big tirade about buses and travel. And now we're here. I'm gonna delete that footage. It's just not useful at all. I learned some stuff, but that was useful. And I went over there. He's like, man, weird that I didn't take my crutch. It must be going my leg. And I'm like, listen, buddy, that's not how that works. He made your leg worse by doing that. Because your doctor doesn't prescribe you that amount of rest out of nowhere. There's a reason for it. I really expected it. Fang just opted to wait. Oh, wait. Hard to say if I was lucky to have these successfully. Frankly, shockingly, ew. Why don't you say frankly quite shocking? Like, don't leave like that. A short wait after that, I was in with the doc. I'd say if I was just lucky, or if this house actually ran half decently. But I was thankful for not showing up 20 minutes early, just to wait for it to get in. Anyways, to get in. I hadn't really expected it, but Fang opted to wait outside the hall. Small dress of privacy. Honestly, it was appreciated. Also, I'm pretty sure she would have broken the law. I don't know how ghost laws work, but I imagine the PIPA or HIPAA or one of those privacy laws is gonna give him a firm spanking. God, someone's complaining about Grimrock. It wasn't like the doctor was going to ask me to get naked or anything, but given that we pretty much literally tapped to the hip, now I was appreciated. I feel like Fang's going to see your PP soon enough, buddy. Don't even think about it. It's going to happen. Of course, it could be residual pity from how bad things have gotten. I feel like you should get comfortable with Fang seeing your PP real damn soon, buddy. It's a band-aid rip, best ripped off fast, unless you plan to get rid of Fang. In which case, fair enough, you can hold on to it. But if it's like forever, man, Fang's gonna hear you have sex with your wife, okay? If you're ever gonna have sex, Fang's gonna be there and hear it. 20 feet is not enough. Unless you're like a soundproof box. Unless you're like one of those SCP containment boxes specifically designed to minimize exposure. Of course, it could be the residual pity from how bad things have gotten. Regardless, I made a mental note to figure out something for you. Just you could have some privacy sometimes too. But I'd be able to be consigned to the bus at our bathroom anyways. The doc was pleasant like before, and after the usual browser questions and answers, and it plays information that I had done well to put too much strain on my leg by resting a lot, a charitable spin-on did absolutely nothing but lay around for weeks. You confirmed the cast room. And now why are you talking about it like that's not actually what you're expected to do? That's what doctors mean. They just dress it up. Like, you sound like you're being self-deprecating instead of admitting that it's kind of goofy, that that's just all you do. That's what the doctor tells you to do. It was surprisingly quick progress, all things considered. I wasn't sure what to expect. My leg had been put in the cast by the time we were getting called to the hospital a few weeks ago, but I expected it to be more of a big deal than the doctor said that we just go get the equipment. When left, I figured it'd be time. Admit, maybe she'd think it was cool to see, so I called for Fang to enter. Where she had just a small amused smirk on her face, which made me feel better about my foot and mouth activities from before. A little better, anyways. Still, mental note to keep that shit locked down next time. The doc returned, and with the help of a nurse, set to work with a tiny saw. I wasn't sure if he was just talking to give me something else to focus on and call me during it, but it legitimately thought it was cool. This type of saw doesn't actually rotate, just back and forth very fast. So the way this works, right? Yeah, okay, he explains it. The way it works is that it could cut through hard material of the cast, but if it hit my skin, which has give, it wouldn't cut me. So basically the idea is that because your skin can like wobble back and forth like a millimeter or two, if you rapidly vibrate something back and forth a millimeter or so, your skin just goes, eh. But because the cast is made out of rock hard material that doesn't have that give, it starts to crumble and break apart. I think is the core idea. Now, that doesn't mean you should rub it on yourself at some point. You know, the cutting motion's gonna do it. But if you're a gentle soul, you know, you're fine. You'll feel a little tickle, I've been told. It feels very weird. Because this is rapidly going. Frankly, hearing about it, I had to agree it was pretty cool. High five, doctor. High five my dead girlfriend. She gives him a high five, and he's like, what the fuck was that? And then he was like, oh, I get it. The power of high fives transcends death. And I was like, aren't you a doctor? Aren't you like a science man? He's like, and on some things transcend science, like the power of the high five. When the cut was finished, the first thing I did was reach down and scratch my ankle, which got a laugh out of everyone in the room. I was too relieved to get. God damn, that felt good. Once I was done, with some basic aftercare instructions. Make sure not to put too much extra strain on it. He also told me I needed to use it as much as I can with activity like casual walking and several other things he suggested, like stretches. Good, I'll build the muscles back up. Yeah, that thing's just been laying about like a little lazy man. Once everything was set, I was walking my way out of the hospital unburdened. Physically. How's it feel? Oh, a lot better. Why not? Well, if you're already out, the doctor say you needed to... The doctor did say you needed to walk more. A lot of the grown to instruction to physical labor may have been objectively right, but that didn't mean I wanted to have to do it. So why not go somewhere? Why don't we go somewhere we can get something to eat that isn't microwaved for once? I gave her a side-eye glance. Listen, I'm not exactly flush with cash, Fang. Oh, come on, you just got your cash off. Consider it a celebration or something. And I haven't spent, like, anything in the last several weeks, so whatever allowance you've got should be enough for a decent meal. At 20 feet, right, you could pick someone's pocket, Fang, and give Anon the money. Like, you could pickpocket it, and Anon would never be seen as responsible if you do it right. Just pull money out of someone's wallet, throw it on the ground, have Anon pick it up. Like, if you're not taking the wallet, no one can accuse you. It doesn't make sense, because why not just take the wallet at that point if you're already being a little criminal? I'm just saying, there's a method to the madness. Oh, come on, once you get your... You just got your cast off. Consider it a celebration or something. I know you haven't spent like anything in the last several weeks, so whatever allowance you've got should be enough for one day. What the fuck has he been eating? How do you heal if you don't eat Anon? You don't have the calories or the building materials. He wasn't wrong. My budget had always been pretty tight from the day I got here due to the limited allowance my dear old mom and dad provided me. I could acknowledge that they weren't exactly incredible themselves, but even then I had a lot of meals that were only slightly better than microwavable cardboard. You eat a cheap pizza or beans and rice. Why not beans on toast? Anon, are you not British? Are you not British? Not exactly the best offerings for a hopefully still growing boy. God damn it. I mean, Anon is still growing. I wanted to make a joke about that, but I remembered that in the ending he does grow. He does grow bigger in the endings. I could admit that I didn't help matters by picking up new games and Saturnium merch, but even then, if I was living on my own, you'd think my folks could have understood that I needed to make some leisure purchases on occasion. And I'll shut the fuck up. Listen, I got a problem buying stuff too, but I got a backlog, so, like, I'm good to go for a while. Just take your time, man. Take your time and take your time. No, man, I haven't done anything like that for over a month at this point, admittedly. I stay in the hospital with meals on offer already, courtesy of the state and all their shitty hospital food glory. And after that, I wasn't really running high in appetite department. What I did know is that I'll never take pizza for granted again. So, I guess you ate during that period, but you've been like this for a week or two, right? Like, it's been a while. It's just been... Like, you're already lanklet. What fats do you have to burn? My hands casually reached up to my side as I feigned scratching an itch, but I could feel my ribs a little. Oh, God. Man, I was lanklet before, but I really lost a little too much weight, huh? I should try and eat things with more substance going forward. Not just to make sure that I didn't have some shriveled up little stick where a leg should be, but also because I don't need to deal with it next time Fang sees me without a shirt on. She compares me to... She'll start comparing me to Holocaust survivors. Ugh, what a gross thought. Why would you be grossed out by that? Aren't you the exact kind of person to make those comparisons, Anon? You're literally an asshole. What? I don't really have the motivation to pick up old games around me much either. Playing games to fill all the time shut my brain off was a necessary evil. But in the back of my head there was a nagging sensation I couldn't easily dismiss. Maybe it's the tiny detail that I had abandoned her to sit around and play... Wait. Maybe it's the tiny detail that I had abandoned her to sit around and play games after everything fucked up that fateful night. Then again, my only other option was to sell all my shit just to slowly and quietly go insane in my apartment. But both her and I knew where that lead. And I promised her I wouldn't. That's a really bad motivation for not doing it, man. You need to have something that's internalized, because if you externalize that shit, it just falls apart the second that person gets on your nerves. Like, you'll start using it as a threat. Still, no interest in expanding my power interest anymore, so I guess that did give my budget a little breathing room, huh? Yeah, still find enough justification for splurging a bit today, but it occurred to me that all this would only last until... What? Is it really that bad of an idea? I like I've just been standing there thinking for like 5 minutes. Well, no, it is fine. I guess I agree, but, so what? Just thinking about how my lease only goes to the end of the year. Thinking about how the budget made me realize I don't have a plan for what happens when that runs out. Bang stood there quietly for a moment staring at the ground. Left arm came up and grabbed her right elbow because we just gotta be fucking specific about it. Just say she started picking at her elbows. But think of something, right? We don't have to figure it out today. Better actually enjoy the casting today. We'll deal with that shit tomorrow or something. I rubbed my forehead and will let my hand drop. She was right. Yeah, we got a few months to figure something out. Worst case, I'd just get a job at a gas station, right? Said with a forced humor that it convinced neither of us. We had some time. I'd only really need to budget for one, so that was something. That's so weird. I'm taking my girlfriend out on a date and she won't even eat. Are we even dating at this point, Fang? Shaking my head to dispel the more somber thoughts, I tried to focus on Fang's admittedly good suggestion. The more I thought about having something substantial and non-potentially illegal in several countries levels of budget cutting, the fuck? The more my appetite began to settle in. I put on my phone, opened Google Maps to find what was nearby. I could sense Fang leaning over and stare at the screen as well. So with a quick adjustment of my holding position, we kind of hash out a plan. I like how this means Anon is standing there like he's obviously talking to someone else, and he is. Near a hospital. With his phone. And Anon, everyone can see what you're doing, man. You can just talk to yourself muttering. Put in some earbuds. If you put in earbuds and you talk, no one cares. I assure you. Everyone's like, oh, he's just on the phone. That's such a cheap trick, I know, but it's a trick that works. Have one in so no one thinks that you're being rude about it. How about this one? No, I don't like that place. Way too cheap. I like that place! Tap the screen, trying to figure out the direction to it, causing Fang to flail her hands about. Trying to swipe my phone, but to no avail. Fang can touch things, but can Fang actually interact with electronics like that? God damn it, Anon. Her amber eyes. She's blue! Hold up. We need to figure this shit out. Are Fang's eyes yellow? Okay, they're still orange. Which is weird. I guess it's just a blue hue. And because Fang is mostly monochrome, you can't see, but like, yeah, the makeup still has color to it. That's lame! Listen, do you have any idea how hard it is to coordinate outfits if everything you wear just turns blue? Yeah, but in the first one, Fang is just blue. In that big eye picture, Fang is just blue. I guess in that very first one you can kind of tell, but because of the gray background it gets washed out, so I didn't notice it as much. Why don't you actually pick something nice for once? Like, not some place that makes... It looks like you need food stamps to live. Well, I need food stamps to live, if you haven't noticed. A few moments of back and forth, we ended up settling on a little sandwich shop within walking distance of the hospital. To make old Doc happy, I was getting my steps in for the day. It also meant I wouldn't need to burn extra cash on the bus fare just to go to a restaurant. We walked along, and I had a moment of realization that we were just kind of being normal. You know, as normal as you can be, that's just there. I mean, yeah, I probably looked like I'd lost all my marbles muttering to myself as I walked down the street and all that, but it was clear from no one reacting, that no one else could see Fang, but beyond that, we were just talking about normal, small stuff. To get to lunch, no ghost shit, no suicidal thoughts, no cats, no guns, no massacres, no high school shootings. Even his light detour into worrying about the future had been blissfully brief. For a moment, it was like it was something almost normal again. Like we're walking through a little tree together looking for a venue. I just have a moment again like that, albeit briefly. Man, people are having a fun conversation about Grimrock design. Ugh. A 15-minute walk turned to a 30-minute trip. Really highlighted to the both of us just how bad it had gotten, even accounting for the weaknesses in my leg. We take several breaks on the way there. Shit, maybe I need a cane from now on? You don't need a cane, Anon. Good to see that my mumbling didn't improve. We already know this. Of course it didn't. I just gotta do what the doctor said. Walk more, eat real food, get your strength back. For now, all that means is you need pit stops. Not that big of a deal. Your body needs to digest its own muscle tissue. I guess. It's just frustrating that I got to take a walk without getting winded. You can't pick shit up. I can't walk. Can anyone win this scenario? I know I wasn't even in good shape. This was worse than when I got to the bluffs. Fang hummed as a way of answering, eyes scanning the crowds around us. I need to cut all the pissing and moaning. Fang was getting to actually be out and about and not trapped in my dingy hole of an apartment. Yeah. Fang is like, shit, I can see shit again. It's been weeks. I could deal with being weak in the knees for that. With a grunt to push myself off the bench and start at the final leg of the journey. While I'm locked down on a right turn, and you should be there. Part of my pissiness was that we were almost there, and I felt like I needed a break so close to the finish line. Oh, whatever. Just gotta keep going and keep the lady friend happy. Ready? Yeah. Plowed along again. Fang was making pithy comments about people that we passed, and I love she kept my silence. Not that I was trying to ignore all that my inner shitpost. I wasn't screaming to join in. It was more a question of pragmatism. I didn't want to look like a gibbering loon talking to myself in a sea of people. Get earbuds. No one asks questions. Everyone knows what they are and what they do. And if anyone asks, you can just be like, I'm on the phone. Absolutely nothing to gain from that. Hell, I was lucky enough that no one seemed to recognize me for my minor celebrity status that I'd gathered in the wake of Volcano High. Small favors, I guess. And if I was lucky, I'd never have to contend with anything from back then ever again. Anon? Oh no! It's Rosa! She shows up a little early. I know she's at the end, but fair enough. I mean, I like that we're keeping the pace brisk. I don't know why we're using Rosa again. I mean, I guess it's like one of the few people that survived, but whatever, man. I've got rumblies in my tumblies. And we're like 15 minutes in, so I can just say this, and you wouldn't give a shit. But, man, have I not been to the bathroom for a number 2 in a few days, and I hate it when this happens, and it usually happens because shit's going on, and I'm like, oh, I don't have time to do things. I don't have time to record my videos, or to stream, or to have fun, or to talk, or to write, or to talk to myself about things, and organize my thoughts. It's just like, fuck. And so my bowels are like, buddy, how about we join in on the fun? And I'm like, I can't weigh myself if there's just this giant growing lump of crap in my gut. It'll be wrong. It'll be false information. It'll be fake news. And I hate it. I hate that feeling. Anon? I've seized it. Why don't you freeze in place? Like my power being cut out. I'd only heard one person say my name that way before. Shifting my gaze to the side a little, I was 10 feet off from a familiar Mexican woman, seated at one of the tables in front of the cafe. Rosa? Thing, and I said at the same time, it is you. Ay, Dios mío, chico. She yelped, seemingly surprised that her calling to me was actually correct. I mean, Anon, you probably look like a skeleton. Not like a spooky ghost quite yet, but you certainly look like a skeleton. She rocked up out of her seat and began to close the distance between us. I reflexively took a step backwards and turned my eyes to Fang next to me, who seemed similarly taken aback. Her wings were flat, arms practically taken up a shaking defensive posture. At least she wasn't powerful enough to get a savaging from a flustered Mexican woman. All hands, brace for female impact! I braced for impact. I asked her what she was going to do to me, but given how strong she was, no doubt it was going to hurt. An instant later, I had my confirmation. Oh yeah, it does! Her arm swung around me and pulled me into a spine-popping hug. Fuck me, Raptor, I thought girls were meant to be soft. Why are her tits hard like rocks? Dots swam in my vision as I got an entire year's worth of chiropractic work done in 15 seconds. Chiropractors are fucking scams. They are literally based on some Jesus guy who's like, Jesus told me about this, or whatever the fuck it was. Like, physiotherapy is a whole another matter. For some reason, I got those two mixed up, but just a chiropractors just fucking pop your spine and they kill you sometimes because they're fucking not doctors. And I got a tip for you. Don't ever let a not doctor do things to your body. Like, I get it. If you want some alternative medicine and they just prescribe you like a jar of bad crap, fair. That's your fault. But don't let those people touch your body. They'll fuck you up. Okay? If someone's gonna do something to your body, at least make sure that they're A, held responsible for it, like doctors are, because my god, doctors are held responsible from so many angles. And 2, you know, just be careful, okay? Ugh. Like, apparently you can become a chiropractor when you're a total quack. It's not hard, apparently, and I don't like that. I imagine that it's not bad outside of America, because America really is the fucking black hole where all common sense goes to die because money has to be made, but ugh, be careful. Get yourself some physiotherapy, built on actual, like, ideas and stuff. Actually, let's look up chiropractic. Let's get a new... I would like to know the history. Daniel David Palmer, inventor of the idea that it was caused by deviations in the spinal cord. The largest group of alternative medicine. Oh wait, good old Hippocrates invented this? Well, this article's really tiny, so we gotta go to the English one, sorry. Well, he doesn't say it specifically, but apparently this guy was the guy who was like, listen, you're sick because your body is sick, not because the world is sick. Neat. Okay, this is not what I was told at all. Oh my god, I love how they fucking did this shit. Canadian Stroke Consortium? What a very specific consortium to have. I mean, strokes are very bad. They're awful. I mean, what else can you say about a disease? Man, the common cold, that's a top 10 disease. Great. Not awful, fantastic. Jesus. Because the major arteries in the neck are so close to the spinal column. It's easy to manipulate them. Jesus. Well, this is useless. Formerly known as Kairos. Dang, that's a fancy way of putting it. Status is fringe healing. So the origins lie in the folk medicine of bone setting. Bone setting? You can chiropract a horse? That's just silly. That's just silly. History. Why is the history section down so low? Palmer, a magnetic healer. A magnetic healer? Oh, that's just goofy. Okay. Well, you know... Chiropractic is classified as a field of pseudo-medicine. The other one was like it's an alternative medicine. Oh no, it is alternative medicine, which I guess is what they call pseudo-medicine then. Unorthodox medicine, holistic medicine, fringe medicine, unconventional. Okay. Man, I'm learning a lot about weird terms today. He claimed that he had severely reduced hearing for 17 years, which started following a short pop in his spine. A few days following his adjustment, Lillard claimed that his hearing was completely restored. The first patient was Harvey Lillard. Oh. Man, that does feel like one of those fucking Jesus Christ stories of like, I did it! Kapow! Yeah, okay, so it is just utter quack. Listen, I know the pop in your spine feels very good and like your nerve endings are involved with a lot of stuff, but your hearing has nothing to do with your fucking spine, man. Your hearing is up here. It's connected to your brain for a reason. Because you need that shit now. Oh no, please, 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 go away. Go away, notification. Be gone. Shit, I don't need that thing popping up on this browser. I have to stand still like a fucking T-Rex and let it walk on by. Jesus, man, this conversation's going. Anyway. So I looked up Maple Story recently. Does the Fire Wizard no longer have the little fire arrow thing? I always loved that move because there's a little fire arrow. Pew pew. Pew pew. Alright, where were we? Entire so the chiropractic worked out in 15 seconds. Like, even if it's a quack thing, man, you should not get a year's worth of science done on you in 15 seconds. For one, the dose is the poison, said good old Paracelsus. There's a reason you spread that shit out over a year. Rosa gently shook me back and forth, whispering things in Spanish that I couldn't anyway understand other than the tone. It was comforting, but remorseful. Remorseful that she didn't kill me where I stood. Kept saying, man, Jesus, such weak-ass bullshit. Why can't I kill this man? Giving her height and her face was buried in my chest. Why are you explaining it like that? And her arms had mine pinned firmly down my sides. Now for that, I admit there was a slight urge to return the gesture. I stole a look at Fang. You stole a look at Fang? Who had relaxed, and I didn't. Who had relaxed after I didn't get punted across the street, but also an expression of annoyance. Was she jealous? God damn it! You know that Rosa's here at all? I mean, I guess you all know the best terms with the Rosa, but still, man, come on. Come on, man. I'm just trying to get. I'm just trying to get down and dirty. Can you not call it that? I'm just trying to get down and dirty. Don't stop calling it that. Hey, Rosa. See, people are staring. All at once. Air flooded back into my lungs, my joints creaking from the death grip the short ankylosaurus had put on me. Any lower to the ground, and she may have reshattered my leg with the grip of hers. I am sorry, Anon. I was just so happy to see you. Yeah, seen you since well. After I got thrown down the stairs, yeah. Yeah, please have a seat, she said, clearly pushing that emotion down. She walked back to a seat and gestured for me to take the empty one across from her. I followed after a brief pause, stopping. You pause and then stop. Fuck off. Putting my hand on the back of the chair. You sure? Of course I'm sure. Why would I not be? I just figured you'd be with Stella, given the two of you were always like conjoined at the fucking hip. Next time it showed off. I thought they're conjoined twins for realsies, Anon. Not possible for the two of them to not spend every moment together. Stella, Rosa said, her smile shifting from happy to clearly being born out of... That's such a roundabout way of describing extraordinarily straightforward things. What happened to Stella? What happened to Stella? Fang whispered, concerned apparent. Again, you can't just introduce tertiary speakers posthumously. Fuck. We didn't really talk much about what happened after the shooting. Oh wait. Fang tried to bring up the subject a few times, but eventually talked herself out of it, I guess. She knew she killed so many people. Also, Fang over the last few days... Get your fucking shit in order, man. What's with Stella? Last I knew she was alright. She wasn't there, you know, what happened. Oh, we got a custom song here, buddy. I hope it's a chiropractic song. Oh, we're doing that? I guess we're doing triangles now. Rosa raised her hand to catch the waiter's attention to take my order, seemingly ignoring my question. I could guess it was a topic that Rosa wasn't exactly keen on dealing with again herself, but it wasn't helping Fang's nerves any. And given what I saw from a quick glance at my side, and give everyone everything, she was calling the staff over to take my order. I guess that seat really was available. Jesus! You got one more before I get mad. Given I wasn't going to be stealing it from anyone, I poked the child and slipped into it, Fang keeping a position standing at my side. I feel kind of bad for leaving her standing, but it's not exactly like I could just pull up another seat. You can move seats and say, like, I'm more comfortable here, and leave the other one open. What would happen if someone moves the seat while Fang's sitting on it? Waiter appeared quickly, took my order, and left. Man, if only service at the place I could usually afford was this fast. Turning my attention to Rosa, I took proper stock for it. Shouldn't they be? Like, aren't those cheap places usually, like, very fast because they got shit to do? She looked tired, but nowhere near as bad as I had to look. Also, wouldn't fancy restaurants have, like, better service, longer service, because they're trying to impress you? Her usual black with flowers pattern dress was gone, because she had only one outfit, because we didn't have the budget to make multiple sprites or split them up. In favor of a pastel-colored spaghetti string top. Jesus Christ, what are we doing with those? An earth-tone skirt, and he said, why are we describing her outfit like this? Her fashion flavor never changes. But what, like, the problem I have with this is Anon is not a fashionista, right? Anon doesn't give a shit what people wear. He's very much just in his own head. So why is he giving people fashion, like, reviews? He shared more outfits than I did. I was pulled back into a messy ponytail. Otherwise, I look perfectly normally Rosa, I guess. You know, other than the fact that I've only seen her wear one other outfit. Fairly short girl, built like... I love how you're just roundabout getting to just describe her, man. Like, a lot of stories are in from with sort of the perspective that the POV character is aware that they are sort of telling someone something. You know, they talk weirdly about people that they already know that they shouldn't describe because they're seeing it with their eyeballs. Releasing a soft sigh, Rosa turned attention back to me. Stella is unharmed, but she has not been doing well since it happened. Rosa, that's not a half explanation. That's an actual explanation. She leaned forward and propped her jaw on her fist, staring off into the other restaurant goers. Though she stares at the other. She's looking into their fucking souls. What are you doing, my man? You do not know English. I've seen her on occasion since then, but she has not been in the mood for visitors. Not even you. That doesn't sound good. I don't want to spoil our food with such talk. We can discuss heavier matters after our stomachs are full, Rosa said, pulling her head from her hands and waving it to dispel the discussion. She put out a clearly forced chippiness as she spoke. I gave Fang a side-eyed glance. She likewise wasn't convinced. The topic for later then, I guess. She looks a bit rough, Fang said, walking over and really taking a look at the Mexican girl across from me. But it's nice to see I didn't do anything to her. Yeah, my shot to Rosa. You seemed to take my response as an agreement to her discussion to talk about eat first, you know, thank God. Need to figure out ways to have talk with Fang without looking like a nutcase to anyone I was talking with. Thankfully, after that conversation, it became generally lighter, you know. Mostly because I had nothing to say. Rosa filled the void in the air. You mean filled the dead air, with updates and news not pertaining to that topic. Apparently she had been given control of a small flower ship not... There we go. Where were we? Took a little break, sorry. What's a flower ship? That's what I was wondering. A flower shop. Maybe it's just a typo, I guess? Of a small flower shop not too far from where we were. That had been in our family's keeping for some time. That's such a weird way to put it! That their family has had... She'd been running it for a couple of weeks now. If things went well, it seemed like she would take the shop over full-time as the official purveyor. Purveyor? Like, this man's inability to understand English is starting to reach funny levels. Person who sells and deals particular goods, I guess it is appropriate, but I wouldn't... I don't know, man. Like a flower shop? I'm a purveyor. I'm a big fancy boy. I wear the big fancy pants. At my flower shop. I'm not saying flowers aren't nice and don't deserve some degree of merit, but it's in a weird luxury good category where it's both kind of cheap and kind of like luxury. It's really weird. She'd always had a hell of a green thumb in the garden, so I guess it made sense that a passion would turn to a career. Does she grow her own flowers? Because if she doesn't, I don't see the point. I don't see how it carries over. This is business shit, man. This is like finance. And the family had already ready for go for her. It was an incredible leg up, too. It meant that she could skip out on the upfront cost of getting the building, leases, licenses, a whole bunch of other stuff that I could vaguely guess. Jesus, why would you know this, Anon? You're not a business boy. Before anyone could even think to open the doors for the first time. But nice to have a family in your corner like that. I still haven't heard from my parents yet. She asked me a few questions, but I largely shrugged them off, not wanting to bring down the lighter mood. Thankfully, she seemed to pick up on that vibe. I'll admit I didn't want to broach the topics at all, but it was inevitable at some point, so I may as well enjoy my reprieve while it lasts. Fang kept her position on my right side throughout the conversation, close enough that I grazed through her a few times while gesturing, or adjusting my position. It was interesting to take note of, given that we had until today, there should be a comma there because this is like an intersplice, kept a sort of professional distance between ourselves. Closer contact begged questions. Question neither of us want to confront yet. How do we have sex? Can we have ghost babies? Seeing her get like that, something about her was really bugging her, wasn't it? Though, I mean, like, you can't really date a ghost, you know? There's too many barriers. It's a hell of a thing to climb. The way to appear with our food. Plating it out to the table in front of us. Rosa was effuse with her thanks. I grunted one of my own, and the employee promptly disappeared to attend to other duties. Yeah, because there's a whole fucking story to manage. I've been here before, but the food always looks so good. Yes! Yes, you would only know that it always looks so good if you've been here before. That's not a but! The thing you're trying to say is the food always looks so good no matter how many times I come here. Rosa cooed, looking over her salad. I wasn't one for the leafy stuff, but I had to imagine it did look picturesque. Normally, when you buy something on visuals on a menu, you just accept it. However hearty or fresh the food looked on the signs, what you get was half as good if you were lucky. The burger lay out in front of me. Why is it always so nice? I mean, Anna's trying to care for himself, right enough. I'm sure they weren't shouting out like some gourmet shit. I regret. Fang naturally. Fang can't have the nuggies! Fang can't have the nuggies. Photosite's grumbling sound attracted my eyes to its source. Fang, naturally. She had crouched down by the table, with just the top of her head, naming her eyes and up top, with hungry staring at the food. That takes some fucking placement. Like, how much does it take for Fang to hold up an arm? Does her arm get tired? I mean, there's no blood, right? So, Like, can just Fang take any pose indefinitely? Excuse me, Anon, I must enter the bathroom. Sure, that's no problem. She rose and hastily made her way over to the interior of the cafe. Well, not like a matter anyway. I know Rosa would complain if I dug in without her. Hell, if she knew how skinny I'd been getting, she'd probably force it down my throat the Rexican way. The thought of that was horrifying, as much as it was funny. It was certainly enough to motivate me, not wanting to risk her to return and began tearing into my bed. Oh my god, I forgot my actual food. Calories? What the hell are those? Hearing a snicker off to my side, I see the terror smirking at my reaction. Are you crying? Her voice carried a hint of playful mockery, but genuinely seemed surprised. Sure enough, my eyes were watering as the symphony of flavors rolled over my tongue. Admittedly, this works for Anon because he's being a little bitch. I decided to lock in the prior observation that the cook just really, really loved what they did. Anon would never say they in this context. I feel like he would say he. Default to that. It could be that I just couldn't think straight with the first real legitimately delicious food in like 2 months, but it didn't matter. This was the best thing I tasted in a long time. I let out a vague grunt of a reply as I continued ravenously turning to the food, which got a laugh out of her. At least I got dinner, and she got a show. In between the bites, I recognized her. I watched her continue to stab my plate, leading a little closer to the table. I recognized the look of desire, mischievousness in her eyes. What? I asked, one cheek packed full of food still. Why still at the end? Her gaze had zeroed in on the mound of crinkle-cut fries. It's crinkle-cut, but crinkle style. Crinkle-cut. It's alliteration. Fries I had on my plate that I hadn't even touched yet. The burger. I've been too fond of a prize. I said, no, you gotta mix it up with the crinkle cut so that you can clear your palate. And then you can bite into the Borg and get the fresh juices. You gotta lap up those juices with the fries, man. God, I love this. And yes, you can tell the color's still there. It's just a vague overlay. Just make Fang, just draw Fang, and then you put a little blue. Just a slash of blue over top. Give me. What? Didn't we find out you can't even taste anything? Doesn't matter. They look delicious. I want. Give me. What am I supposed to do? Hold it in the air for you to try and nibble at? I asked, baffled what a game plan here would even be. We knew she could still move small objects with some effort, but she ran out of juice pretty quickly. She couldn't taste anything either. Although it was admittedly funny and gross the time we tried it, the sight of her and my insistence to minimize variables of the experiment, I'd be wide open with a long tongue to extend under my bowl of soup. Hilarious. Why isn't it instant ramen that she's still licking up? I mean, I guess that's for you, though. The disgruntled, embarrassing look she gave me while she did it, that was much funnier. But she didn't taste anything, and she informed me that she didn't feel hunger, so I made the logical conclusion that eating was out of the book, out of the window, just gone. I'm gone. Never existed. Fine, I'll do it myself. She groaned to roll of her eyes, her crouched position, her eyes barely over the top of the table. Her right arm came up, craned up, and pitched her fries between her fingers. She wasn't going to work or do anything. She deftly flicked it into the air, clearing it a foot off the table. None of my brain was impressed at her plan. If she threw it, the amount of contact and energy spent moving the fry was kept to a minimum. Oh, yeah! Clever adaptation of her limitations. That is actually clever! The other part of my brain immediately caused my chest to tighten in panicked horror at the notion anyone around us saw us fry just spontaneously launch off my plate into the air. My hands are on this burger. I couldn't have done it. That's an important detail to bring up, by the way. Fag's eye tracked the small treat as it arced through the air. And then, as I had seen her do on multiple occasions, she deftly opened her snout wide and snapped the food clean out of the air. Well, it would have been clean out of the air if it didn't immediately phase through her jaw and landed on the ground with a soft plap. How could you fucking hear that? You're in a restaurant, man. There's people talking. Holy shit, what a fucking disappointment. See, that's the kind of Anon sass I like. It's so fucking crass. The scene was so utterly anticlimactic that any sense of panic from before was replaced with bewilderment. Fang stared dumbly at the now wasted fry on the ground, as well as for a long moment, before frustration billowed up on her face. That as well needs to go the fuck out the window. I get it, she's looking with you, but get that out of there, it's ruining the sentence. That is bullshit. Yeah, no kidding. Did it really take that long for her to recover? To get untired? Whatever the balls we dubbed it. She's getting lower reserves earlier today. She wasn't charged back up again. But a single fried toss to drain her back. Could it be that she can only do things like once she activates it, it's just on until it's gone? You know? No, you can't divvy it out. It's done in 6-sec chunks. Surprisingly lame, and yet all the same, I wish I had a notebook to write down some of the results of the impromptu. It's a single goddamn fry! Thanks for that annoyance. Clearly picking up on what I was thinking. Or I might finish this in one go, whatever, man. Anyway, I was mumbling again. Hard to tell. Well, if the last few weeks of dicking around has showed us anything, it's not like you've got a lot of capacity to work with.